Talk about something that is arising in this now, that is being amplified as we hit the 2nd of February, or we enter the month of February. Of course, we've been feeling all these energies since last year, as we have been moving through many waves of energy updates, upgrades, from solar waves to astrological, I call them access points or power points, that create or bring in opportunities and doorways for self-growth. And no matter where you are in your journey, it's like layers. We're going deeper and deeper into really deep transformational layers. I am very advocate of walking my talk, and so I'm not exempt from all these energies, because no matter where you are in your work and how much you're committed to your to yourself, or energy work, there's always going to be aspects of yourself which have been hidden, and they're always going to come out and wave at you or yell at you or bring you down momentarily. And of course, one of these aspects I want to talk about is how, now that we're entering February, there are key dates, I would say. And let's talk about time as it's not so fixed or so rigid. It's not like on the 1st of February this happens, and then on the 3rd, and then on the 5th. I see it more as we are entering a timeline, a current of energy waves. See it as a wave that is coming in, and we gotta be ready, because we are all tired of swimming. And if you are caught up by surprise by what's coming on these energies, how they are working with your psyche, how they are working with your subconscious, you might get lost in the wave, and you might get swept under it and feel like you're drowning, and it can become very challenging. Yet I want to say something. No matter where you are, again, the path of the less resistance is the best way to navigate these waters. Because no matter how ready you think you are, if you need to learn something about yourself, you are going to learn it. I think the key here is to learn to navigate these waves in a way that you can go through them and out of them in a more fluid way, in an easier way, if we are going to say easier way. So I do want to say, particularly the energies that are at play at the moment are very in alignment with self-love, and they are questioning your self-love. They're questioning your relationship with yourself and your identity. And it's very interesting, because on the 2nd of February, a series of configurations amped up the energy. It was not only the new moon, in the second new moon of 2022. So, you're adding the power of the number 2, the number 22, the number 22222. So we ended up having 5 2s on that particular day, with the second new moon of the year, the Chinese New Year in Water Taiga. And of course, we had a solar flare in terms of the energetics and the magnetics of the planet receiving much more pressure from solar wind. And all of this adds up. And we might be like whistling around going, I'm good, and suddenly it hits us. And where it's hitting us is in our relationships. Whether they are personal, however we whatever relationship we need to look at. Of course, it all comes down to the relationship with yourself. That is what we need to strengthen. And that's actually the theme of this entire year. It's self-love. And self-love doesn't mean I'm just going to have a massage and have a nice day at the beach and maybe gather with friends and have me time. It's way deeper than this. Self-love means diving deep into the underworld of yourself and dig out all of those aspects, all of those shadow aspects that they have been under the water, under the surface, and they are ready for you to see them, to experience them, to accept them, to embrace them, and to love them. And that is the hardest thing. My shadow self, that what I keep under the deepest areas of my psyche is self-worth. Of course, we all have some self-worth issues. Humanity itself, the collective as well. That's how we've been, in a way, programmed to evolve, actually, to move from the sense of I'm unworthy to I am God, right? So that's generally the hero journey as humanity. But some of us carry different wounds, not being good enough, not being worthy, and placing our value outside ourselves, placing our value in how useful we are, how good I am at my work, or how good I am at whatever I think I'm good at, whether it could be cooking, looking after others, gardening, my discipline with myself. We place all these elements outside ourselves that keeps us secure in our identity. The issue with this is our identity is going to be stripped off this month. We are going to lose all sense of identity, and in a way, this is what's needed. We need to be completely for the new earth to come into life, or the new, let's say, call it system or matrix of light to come online, because all of the old systems are crumbling. The moment that the veil is stripped, it means there's no identity. And what that means there's no attachments. So no attachments means who I am if I am not Miri, a mother, a partner, my work, whatever I have placed my identity and my attachments that create a sense of safety and security. We are about to dive very, very quickly and deeper into the sense of no self. So the question would be, who are you if you are not your identity? If you are not what you seem as the identity and the self that you have projected outside of yourself. A really good test that happened on the two at relationship level is that if you are in a loving relationship, or in a deep relationship, or in a personal relationship, that's the fastest way we grow. We are going to be shown like a mirror aspects of ourselves that we do not want to see. And the only way is through tests and conflicts. Adding that, at the moment, we have Saturn and Uranus in square position from our point of view of Earth. It creates a challenging time between my dutiful self, my how I project myself to the world, what have I created, all my systems of control around me, everything that I feel keeps me safe, against my true sense of freedom, my wild self, my individual power, what I really want. And that is this is the challenge that is happening at individual, but collectively. Collectively is very obvious. We are seeing it planetarily, how these systems of control are grasping and crushing a strong grip. We've been feeling them for the past 2 years, and the more the pressure point happens, the more inside the strength to break free comes. And that conflict, that struggle, we are seeing it at a collective level, with all these restrictions being at play, until we say enough. But if we just view this as an outside of us, and if we put ourselves in the victim mentality of this is happening to me, oh my God, this is so hard, my relationships are crumbling, my relationships at work, my friendships, you might notice that a lot of your friends for the past 2-3 years have changed, are in their own process, are in their caves. They're no longer flowing with you or vibing with you, and you might take this on board very, very personally. One thing of the aspect that we're going through is we are taking things very, very at heart and very personally. So that's really interesting to observe, to be able to observe that. We take it in account, and it plays with the self-worth issue. Now, another aspect that is coming very strongly is Pluto. Pluto being the planet of the underworld. And so Pluto at play is also asking us, questioning us, what is your commitment? Where is your commitment? And I would say ideally the commitment has to be with yourself. Not the commitment can't be to other people or whatever you have placed your identity, attach your identity to. The commitment is back to yourself. So you have to be very crystal clear that this moment, it's about you. Self-love, self-commitment, digging deep into your subconscious of what really needs to be unearthed, seen, accepted, and loved. And so this is the theme in general. Of course, there's a key dates I do want to give you, so you're prepared. It's like giving you a little bit of the weather forecast as energetic level. That doesn't mean it's going to exactly happen the way I say it, but it gives you an idea and understanding. At least when you bring it to your awareness, it is easier to navigate. So we have the Uranus and Saturn in square challenging each other, which means you are going to feel more prompted to speak up, to say your truth, to be more truthful to yourself, to rattle the cage that you have created around you, to review your attachments to your loved ones. Where are you placing your self-love? And where are you basing your identity? Is your identity is within or is without? So what happens, and just make this mental exercise, what happens if everything right now that you're attached to, people, places, work, whatever they disappear? So it can be quite scary, but that creates this mental resilience of I've got this. I am on my own in this. And of course, for many of us, including myself, the place I go really quickly is I'm alone. I've been abandoned. I'm just going to, there's no way out. And I go in really, really dark places really, really quickly when I feed that wound into I am alone and I am unlovable or I'm not worthy. And of course, I can see that, I can breathe it, I can cry it, I can feel it, I go deep in it. And then I go, okay, you're there, they're there, yes, I see you. And then it's okay, I'm here with you. So it's really about, rather than running away from the feeling of the wound that is being cleared out, it's really going into the breath. I do a lot of breath work and allowing the emotion. Most of us just really shut down the emotion because we feel the emotion is going to take over us. It's going to control us, our ability to cope. And emotions are energy in motion. So it's an energy wave in motion that needs to go through us from wherever is coming. And we need to allow it to rise. Another very interesting aspect that's coming is Venus and Mars in conjunction from the 16th of February all the way to March the 6th. They're all in Capricorn. Venus has already been in Capricorn for the past month and is going to have another month of Venus in Capricorn. This is very rare, but what happens, Venus was retrograde, it was starting to build up everything that was not serving you in your personal loving romantic relationships or your longing for a romantic relationship. Build it up. It was stuck. It was keeping you stuck. It was hidden. You think you're okay. And when Venus turned direct, which it did, the 31st of January, it really comes and asks you, How is this relationship serving you? Because you're obviously you can really be serving this relationship, but from what place are you serving this relationship? From your need to be loved, or you need to be of service so that you are worthy, or how you place your identity? How is this relationship serving you? What is it giving to you? So it comes back to you. And also, what if this relationship breaks up right now? How is your relationship with yourself? Where are you at with yourself and your personal relationship? Now, Mars and Venus entering, conjuncting each other, or being together in the same constellation, let's call it dancing together, is an opportunity to merge these archetypes of masculine and feminine archetypes. Mars, the warrior, the direction, and Venus, the maiden, the lover, the flow, the feminine aspect. And so they're going to be joined in one. They're going to be dancing together, they're meeting together, but then they're dancing in a very practical constellation, which is Capricorn, the archetype of both the goat and the fish. It's very emotional but very practical. Is this serving me or not serving me? How can this be useful to my growth? How can I make this work? So it becomes really interesting, because we will be able to see, Capricorn sees the detail on everything. Yeah, it's like kind of that OCD. So we are going to be peeling out things that we were not seeing before in our relationships. We're going to start seeing them. Or maybe we were seeing them, but we were like, nah, it's okay, I'll let this one go, I'm going to pick my battles. Suddenly you're going to feel like, actually, I don't like this, and I need to pull it out, and I need to express it. And that means you might enter into conflict. And we don't like conflict, but sometimes conflict is very, very necessary to review, to move, to reassess where we're going. So those are the energies for the 16th of February, and it's crowning with a full moon in Leo. And Leo being with the energy of the sun, Leo being the archetype of the lion, of this is my territory, this is what I want. It's actually the opposition of Aquarius, being in the Aquarian month. Aquarius is all about humanity and inclusivity, and yes, sure. Aquarians their boundaries are very out there. And Leo are the opposite. This is my stand, this is my power, this is how I roar, this is how it goes. And so that moon is gonna come in and illuminate the relationship with yourself. And how can you integrate these energies? How can you work with them? Mercury has gone direct from 2 days ago, from the 4th February, and the 5th of February, Saturn and the Sun go into the same. They are in conjunction. So the Sun is going through Aquarius, and Saturn is in Aquarius as well. So now we also have all these energies, all very focused on not only you, but also how you, when you find your true core essence of who you are, regardless of your place in the world, your relationships, or the things that you do as a human being. When you touch the core of who you are truly, then we can extend out and become the true, real human family that we are. And that takes us into a very interesting place, is how good are you at asking for help? How good are you at reaching to others and saying, hey, I'm struggling, or this is what's happening to me? Because we've been so conditioned to do it ourselves, be the fighter, the warrior. I don't need anyone, or I don't want to bother anyone from that place, or I've got this and it's only me, I'm the only one going through this process. And it's not, we are all going through this process together. I want to assure you, through the therapies I give and people around me, the communication we have, we've all been going through the ringer, not only for the past 2 years, particularly these past 3 weeks. And what we are about to go, it's going to be deeper. We are going to accelerate. The growth of the planet is going to accelerate potentially 10 times. And we started on the 2nd of February, the 2/02/2022. It started a pathway of this initiation or test process that is going to, let's say, not end, but it's like a window of opportunity, a passageway that is going to then open up on the 22nd of February of 2022, which will take us to 6 twos, which is the 12th, the energy of the 12th, and the energy of the 3. So numerologically, it's going to take us into action, into rebirthing. We're all going through a rebirth process. And to go through rebirth, we have to go through death. Ego death, identity death. Everything or anything that does not serve your life, it's going to exit in this next passageway, in this 20-day passage. It's a 20-day passage. And 20 days is halfway of the 40-day, and 40 days, how long we take to create a new habit, how long our cells in our body takes to regenerate. When we take the journey of the 20, it's first about releasing. The second half of the next 20 days, it's about creating the new. So we just entered a passageway of the first 20 days that will take us into releasing. And once we hit the 22nd of February, we're going to start then creating the new. The organic energy that's happening now for rebirthing humanity is starting now. It's not based on the Gregorian calendar of the 31st of December. It's really more organic. And it changes every year, because the universe itself is moving into its own orbit. And then from there, all of our solar system itself is moving through its own orbit, the sun and us, and the planet and within. So it goes into so many layers. It's constantly flowing. Time is art. Time is flow. Nothing is linear. So do remember that. I would really want to encourage you to be very mindful, to really utilize these 20 days to go deeper into the relationship that you have with yourself. How are you truly loving yourself, serving yourself? Who are you really if you are not doing or being someone or something for others or for the other? So we want to go back to divine union. The only way to bring in real meaningful relationships in our life is to go into divine union with us first. So we need to then access all those aspects of ourselves that are not serving us, that we have put aside, or consciously or subconsciously, but all those wounds that need to be living our lives now, they're coming up with Pluto just moving the underworld, right? So this February, this whole month of February are going to be about clearing, cleansing. The last 8 days is restoring, creating until we reach the 6th of March. And that's a really good, beautiful passageway that we're going through. There's many tools that you can use. Grounding is very important. What does grounding mean? Grounding means being in your body and also connecting to earth. So whether you need to time in nature, in a patch of grass, wherever, you need to be able to touch the ground with your bare feet, or hug a tree, or connect to the earth. Very important, so that you really release any extra energy that is being building up in your nervous system. Because our nervous system right now they have been wired up constant in survival mode with everything that has been transpiring. So we're constantly in the fight, flight, or freeze mode. And so we need to release our nervous system with breathing techniques, with grounding techniques, with anything that keeps you into your center and in your flow. I'm leading a 9-day cellular regeneration fasting program on the 14th of February. from the 14th to the 22nd. That's a 9-day passageway. We're gonna go and we're going to do a guided fast, and it's gonna be a very potent work, especially because it will be focused on releasing all belief systems attached to not only the food but your self-worth, and all those systems of control that you have built around yourself, especially in your mind, that most of the time are in the way of being more in your heart and being more in flow. So you can check in on my bio. There's a link to the cellular regeneration, and also there's a post there to do that. I really recommend. And the other one is I teach Kundalini Yoga, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful tool of breath work and mind endurance and connection to your light very, very quickly. It's like active meditation, and I'm doing that every Monday online, 6 p.m. New Zealand time, and also you can check that on my Instagram and my Facebook pages. Anyway, any tool that you have, it's important. Get working now. If you already have been on the deepest side, like I've been 2 days ago, take your time to come back to yourself and find those key aspects that you notice that you were ignoring, and that now you're with more commitment to come back to yourself. My commitment right now is with myself. And my priority is myself, and I can feel that now without a sense of guilt. That is my personal experience with the energies at the moment, and yet observing, being open to go through more if I need to go through more, and really surrender to the process. I'm going to take a couple of cards for the collective now. These cards are beautiful. There's Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I really like because it gives you really good insights, beautiful imagery. So I'm going to pick up a card for everybody to start with. Remember, everything is quantum. Whether you're watching now or watch later is the same. It's going to work for you. You already joined the call anyway. We can bring in a card for you. So, card for the collective. Beautiful. Get grounded. So there you go. We're talking about that. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. It's a time to really go within and go into your true light. Yeah. All right. We are good enough. We are worthy. There's nothing we need to do. Anything. We can't do anything else. We are not perfect. Just really take that on board. We are not perfect, more than we already are who we are. So we gotta know and understand that whatever we're doing right now is exactly what we need to do. And it's enough. And we are enough. And we need to understand that whatever we're going through, whatever projects we're building, it has its own time. And we can't force it. We can't make it happen, because we end up exhausted. So very, very important. A closing breath work, just as a tool that I want to give you when you feel moments of unworthiness, or moments where we are questioning our worth, or when we feel we're losing ourselves really quickly into the other. We do this a lot, especially us who embody the feminine energy, but also men who embody the feminine energy as well in their life. They tend to also lose themselves in the other. So right now, all relationships, we're all learning to not lose yourself in the other. That's not the way to love. You lose yourself in you first. You become whole in you first. But you can still be in a relationship while doing this work. But of course, and that's actually fast tracking this process, because the other will always going to show you a mirror of yourself. So you can consciously bring out what has been hidden. And that's in the passageway we're going through. So hold on to your hearts. Hold on to your heart and do the best you can. And remember that it's time to let go of all your attachments. everything that you think gives you happiness or gives you a sense of security or control, let it go. Let it go, because it's going to go anyway. So if you start doing this exercise now, by the time it comes in as a collective energy, as a big wave, then you're already gonna be resilient enough and strong enough to go through it and going, yep, I've just done that. Then I can be that pillar of strength for others, right? So hold on to your hearts. So with this, I'm going to ask you to really quick exercise. I'm going to teach you this. It doesn't take ages, and you don't need to be in a specific place or in a specific way or way of mind. You just need to do it. So you rub your hands, and while you're rubbing your hands, you're breathing, and you're bringing your attention into your heart, but also your throat. So you're breathing with your throat when you're breathing in. It sounds like that. And then when you're exhaling through your throat as well into your heart. I'll do this now. Just rub your hands. Connect to your heart. This is just aligning your hemispheres, right and left, flow and direction, feminine and masculine. And you rub and you feel the heat. You breathe deeply. And then you place your hands in your heart together first like that, bringing that energy of neutrality and strength into your heart. And just feel how your heart is beating now. Breathe this energy. And you can either imagine or feel this sphere of beautiful light, golden, pink and green light, encasing your heart, knowing that this is where you are safe and strong. And then with a deep breath, you're going to bring out that sphere. So you're going to go. And you exhale and open it. That's it, just with the intention, and it's done. It's creating a beautiful orb of beautiful golden, pink and green light all around you. And you finish off by holding your hands in neutrality, joining both hemispheres and aligning it with your heart. Opening your throat as you breathe in and you breathe out. Bringing in with the inhale, bringing the inhale into your sacrum. And then allowing the exhale, the energy of the sacrum to rise up into your heart. And we do this 3 times. Inhaling energy into the sacrum. And as it exhales, the energy spirals up into the heart. 2, and a 3rd one. Inhaling into the sacrum. And spiraling as we exhale into the heart. And that is a very powerful breath, very quick grounding tool to do it at any moment in your life when you need that time for me now, time to come back into my center. All right, thank you everyone, and you can replay this at any time. I love you guys. Bye-bye.